Praise God and good evening, everyone. Welcome to Girl Power 2012. We are honored to have you. And on both sides of me, I have those who are said to be the most eligible bachelors within our church society and within town. They were chosen randomly, but for various reasons. We have you, Eddie. We have Patrick. We have Francis. We are honored to have you, Mr. Frank Gashumba. We have Wycliffe on the other side. These bachelors are going to be telling us a little bit about the lady of their dreams. And I'm going to be asking random questions, and they will tell you who they are expecting to marry, what qualities they are looking for, and probably why some of them feel they haven't found those qualities yet. Some of them are attached, sorry ladies, but others are not yet. None of them is married. I want to begin with you, Patrick.
Yes, ma'am.
Would you like to stand up so that people can see who I'm talking to? Patrick, I am made to understand that though you are, how old are you? Only 25?
I'm 25.
Yes, although you are 25, you are already thinking about marriage.
Yes, ma'am.
And you're good looking, you are a celebrity in your own rights. I know that you have already embarked on the journey of finding a wife.
Yes, ma'am.
What are some of the hurdles you have met trying to date, trying to know these young ladies, trying to get close to them? Have you met any hurdles?
Yes, ma'am. The fact that I'm a man and my eyes are so active, I'm a visual being. I see things and I want to take the good. One of the hurdles that I'm going through or I've gone through is the failure to be able to tell whether she's the most beautiful or she's the most beautiful or she's the most beautiful, because I begin by judging by appearance. It's one of the major ones, but one which is even more vital, Pastor Jessica, is the fact that some of the few that I've identified have already been taken.
He says some of the few girls that he has met,
I had intentions to.
that he had intentions to marry, have already been taken.
Yes, ma'am.
Were they taken before you became interested in them, or in the process, or after?
Before. And I'm a very, very dignified person. I can't pursue someone that is already in a committed relationship. When someone tells me that their lines are engaged, I don't want to hack into that system. I want them to go free. But then the other issue also, Pastor Jessica, if you don't mind me adding this onto it, is that being unable to identify whether it's money or love. I mean, whether I should go with the money or the love. The two seem not to be clear. Money and love don't seem to be clear.
In the minds of the ladies.
Yes, ma'am.
So you mean that ladies take your money before you are sure they are in love with you?
Some do, sir. Some do, ma'am. Yes.
So you think that's a very big problem?
Well, it is a very big problem, not just to me, but to the ladies as well, because sometimes they just can't tell. They are confused. They don't know what to do exactly. But the confusion for a man like me is how I should express myself, as a broke guy or as a loaded guy.
You don't know how to express yourself anymore?
No.
You are trying to impress a girl. You want to come out as loaded, and then she begins to make demands.
I haven't reached that level, Pastor Jessica. But rather what I say, what I mean here is this, that sometimes you don't know whether she may be too consumed with the money that she just may never be able to understand the basic things that love takes. She may get to a point where she falls in love with what you've been doing for her and the moments you've been there, and not being able to really have intentions to stay in the long haul, ma'am.
And are you doing so many things for these girls at this level?
It has happened before to someone I was really into for 2 years. I did everything a man does.
You helped her financially.
Well, not that way. She was a little bit disciplined to take me through that pain. But rather, I was there for her in very unusual, like in trying moments. You know, I'm a Christian guy, and so I would never go for a lady that is not saved. I would never go for a lady that is not saved.
I think to clap our hands to that. He says he's a Christian, and number one priority is that somebody should be saved.
And it is not pretense, because this is the life that I live, Pastor Jessica. I know how many stresses there can be for a Christian guy like me to be involved with a lady that's not saved. So she was a saved young lady, but very weak and going through several family problems.
It is okay to say financial, Patrick. It's okay to say financial.
Pastor Jessica, there were family problems. The dad was not supporting her in school as he was supposed to. So I could not commit myself even if I was able financially to pay for her school fees, because that's not my job to do. I'm not her dad. I'm only someone trying to fall in love with her. But I decided to be there for her in terms of supporting her emotions and giving advice and counsel and praying with her. And after balancing the spiritual side of it, now I went to the social side of it and began to take her out. I fought the good fight of both the faith and the flesh. You know, balancing every side, making sure I have my lady ready. But for 2 years of my life, I committed myself to this young lady, and there are so many things in there that I found very challenging, Pastor Jessica.
I understand you have a term for that. The people of your generation have a term for that. Detuther.
Yes, ma'am.
What is that in vernacular? Mukuzi. What should the young ladies learn from this? Because as women, we are givers, and we can expect to give. We can give without expecting to receive.
Yes, ma'am.
Why is it that every time you brothers give, you are hoping that it is going to end up some other way?
Well, to be honest, I think it's in the nature of a man. Men are business oriented. They want to invest. Men want to invest and then get returns for their investment. And we don't like deals that go wrong, especially in very sensitive situations like a relationship, Pastor Jessica. Now, as a man, by the way, to correct this, I think men give a little bit more than women do. But apart from the fact that it is scripture to give and expect, it is scripture to give and expect. And actually, it is one of the things that used to push me on in this relationship. I used to say to myself, she may not come all the way to love me the way I want her to love me, but if only I can keep on sowing good seeds. So I said to myself, if only I can keep on being good to her and coming strong and being there for her, one day I shall reap benefits from this right here. And it didn't go as I expected. This lady was something else. Pastor, can you imagine? She told me she loves me, but she has no feelings for me. And at that time, I was not as I am right now. At that time, I was not very popular on TV or popular on radio or even into comedy the way I am today. So I'm very sure she regrets it. I tell you the truth.
So my sister, wherever you are, you missed out. You missed out both on a young, handsome man. You also missed out on a celebrity. You missed out on the money as well, if that's what you were targeting. Patrick happens to be loaded right now.
Pastor, excuse me, Pastor.
What if
What if she's not interested in that celebrity that he is? So you're saying she missed out on a
Pastor,
celebrity?
if she's a detuther, she would definitely be interested in some celebrities.
But she was detoothing him before he was a celebrity. So she wasn't detoothing a celebrity in any case. I'm afraid Patrick has not got to a point of finding a right person. Because at one time he mentioned he did everything that a man does. And he didn't mention a thing that he did. What do men do?
I did not mention any that men do. Well, now, Wycliffe, I'm going to be gentle on you right now. But because I may end up offering some counseling to some men. Some men have never really known what they should do. Now, this is what a real man does. A real man stands in his place to support a woman spiritually. That's one of the
I'm
things a
afraid
real man
that's
does. Let me explain that. A real man recognizes the fact that a woman is a spirit being. And as a result, she owes her creator, the one that made her, she owes him some respect or some honor. A real man stands in a place where he encourages that woman or continually strengthens that woman to take that place in her life. I did that, Wycliffe.
Mr. Frank Gashumba, you want to say something?
Yes. Personally, if you're a man and you cannot support your girlfriend or your wife, you don't qualify to be a man.
Yes, sir. I agree. I agree.
This is very simple. In the Bible, even in the Quran, it's very clear. We must support our wife.
Yes, sir.
Don't tell me because you're a man, because you love her so much, you
And
cannot
you can
even...
support her spiritually.
Christmas is coming next week. You cannot even give her money to support her family? And you're telling me you're a man? No.
So you pray for her.
I did that.
You
You
pray for
I
her.
did that.
You
Man,
pray
man,
for her.
man. Hold on a
Hell
second.
no.
Hold on a second.
Hold on.
Mr. Frank Gashumba.
Mr. Frank Gashumba, this is a man who wants a wife, and the way he looks at the financial favors and the gifts, he says he looks at them as an investment. And he feels that women should be very clear, because the term the two thing means you are taking something from many different people.
Let me start it this way. The Nigerians have a saying. If you haven't been... The Nigerians have a saying. If the crocodile does tell you that there's no more fish in the lake, believe it. Because that's where it lives.
Sir.
And Americans have also another saying. If you haven't been to Vietnam, shut up. Mom, the world has changed so much. There is no way you are going to tell your girlfriend that you love her so much that you are even going to pray for her. Excellent. Prayer, there are things prayers will do. Let me tell you something. God will bless us with money, we put up such a church. But God won't come and clean this building. It has to be us.
Yes, sir.
So if you're thinking of marrying tomorrow and you expect your girlfriend to live on your prayers only, I can assure you, you want to get...
Let me say something for Patrick's sake. Patrick, I have a son who is 17 on the way to 18. I would not want him to be detoothed.
Yes, ma'am.
I would not want anybody to ask big financial favors
Yes, ma'am.
from him.
Mom,
I don't know.
This is not the true thing.
I mean, when he gets to the age when he's going to get married,
Look at a young girl in the university. She's a finalist. She has one semester to go. And she's lacking tuition fees. You have the money. And ladies outside there, you should know this from today. Kampala men are ready to spend $1 million shillings on you in the club than taking you back to do your masters. You should know that. Kampala men are ready to take you for holiday, but they are not ready to pay tuition fees.
Those are not men. Those are
So,
boys.
Patrick, your
Yes,
dream,
ma'am.
I'm sure your dream woman, because everybody has their own type of dream woman.
Yes, ma'am.
Your dream woman would be somebody who is not financially demanding. And he's being honest, because there are many men who don't want financially demanding women. So thank you for being honest, Patrick. One attribute of your dream woman would be someone who is not financially demanding.
Who is not financially driven in the things of life.
Who is not financially driven in the things of life. Who
Yes,
likes
ma'am.
you for what you are instead of what you have.
Yes, ma'am. And to correct Mr. Frank Gashumba, I did support her financially. It wasn't just prayer. The problem is he asked for one thing I did. I did more than that, Mr. Frank Gashumba. I did my
Okay.
diligence, sir.
Let us move on to Eddie. Eddie, what shouldn't the girls do? Because we want to hear from the men. What shouldn't the girls do? What would put you off about a young lady if you were looking at her to become your wife?
One of the things that that puts me off when I'm looking at a girl and she's supposed to be my wife is her desperacy.
Is her what?
Desperacy, when she's desperate.
Desperation.
By desperation, I mean she shouldn't show me that she's more desperate than I am.
Fair point.
And when I say that, this is what I mean. For the ladies who would say it in Luganda, abekwanira abasajja.
Okay, he says it in Luganda. He says it in English first. He said desperation. He doesn't want a girl who looks more desperate than he is. And then he says it in Luganda and he says, tayagala bakazi bekwanira basajja. Ekyo ye kiba kimuddusa buddusi.
It shows that you're desperate. Number two, it shows that you're cheap. And if you do that, it means any man or whoever you see who looks better than me, you're going to go after them.
Now, what is your definition of desperation, the technical definition? Is it someone who comes and says hello to you? And how do you tell a girl is desperate? I mean, what is your measure? What is your yardstick?
It is how they carry themselves when they're with a man. The things they do. The things they do when they're with a man. For example, I will come and my intention is to be your friend. I haven't even said I love you. But because you're judging me off of how I look like, you already assume that I'm interested in you. So you begin to say things that I've not even yet told you. Before I even think of saying such things, because I haven't even gotten the time to get to know who you are.
Is that what's happening these days?
I know why some ladies do that. You're a handsome boy, looking good, could be loaded, and you're just there, walking alone all the time. So they make the moves, and you want to say, excuse me, you want to say that women are not supposed to express their feelings? They are humans too.
No,
And when you say,
I'm not saying.
When you say that when they make that move to you, then that means that whoever they see, they make the move. Tell me something. If you see a beautiful woman and you make a move, does that mean whoever beautiful woman you see, you make the move?
I'm a man, I'm not a woman.
So,
And I'm entitled to, if I haven't told you that, hey, I'm interested in you, why would you jump out of your skin to tell me?
because
it
they
is
feel you're wasted.
No. The order of the things is supposed to be a man to approach a woman or chase after a woman.
That's good. That's a culture. Well, but
It is in
things
the
are
Bible.
changing.
It is in the Bible.
I agree with you. Women are not supposed to make moves. But when they might not be that desperate, but they're tickling you. Come out of your skin. Say something.
No, if she's interested, she has.
I don't know why the ladies are uploading weekly.
Because they're victims. They're victims. They've done that before.
Because they are victims and they've done it before.
Yes, ma'am.
Anyway, the Bible says he who finds a wife,
Come on now.
Not she. It is a
he
he.
who finds a wife finds a good thing. I don't know, ladies, but that is something else to learn. He says he would be put off. This tall, dark, handsome man would be put off by a lady who showed some type of desperation. And his technical definition of desperation is before he tells you he loves you, don't act like somebody who is loved. I think those are very high standards. Eddie, I would like to ask you again, are you very keen on a woman's intellect or her education or, her brains? Or because I understand you are a little bit of an intellectual yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you keen or it's more the character and...
I'm very keen. Why? Because a woman has to be educated. I don't want to spend the rest of my married life with you, teaching you what school should have done. Spending my time educating you. There is there's a family to be built. There are things to be done together. So it is precious time. Instead of developing these things, I am busy taking you through school.
What Mr. Frank Gashumba was talking about, getting a girl and then paying her school fees and then her masters when you could get a ready-made one. That's what you're talking about.
I'm not saying that. If I found her when she's in school, I would be happy to support her to finish. But I can't stay with somebody who is not educated. So that means if she's not educated, I'll make sure she'll have to first go to school.
And that will take a lot of your time.
I don't mind. It is a good investment as long as I'm not going to spend the rest of my life.
You're joking.
What
taking her to
about...
school.
Joking.
He's joking. What about beauty? Because the ladies cheered you. You were a very good-looking young man.
Sorry, Pastor. Sorry, Pastor. Just one thing. Just for your food for thought. A lot of what is important in marriage is actually not taught at school. We can go on.
Mr. Wycliffe Yomba says a lot of what is important in marriage is not actually taught at school. And you find that so many women who are not educated are doing very well in their marriages. I agree with that.
And I think something I should add on. I don't know the type of education you are talking about. Because personally, I don't recall ever reading of a university where there is a PhD in family relations. It's not there. It's not. It's not there. And I believe she must be a holder of whatever, a BBA. Is that what you are looking at?
Oh,
Knowledge-
S6. Eh?
knowledgeable-
You've set the standard.
No, I'm
knowledgeable
asking
and
him.
intelligent.
No. You said you want somebody who has gone to school. You don't want to spend the rest of your life teaching
her.
somebody what she should have learned at school.
School is one way people acquire knowledge.
Somebody can be intelligent without going to school.
No. Let me even clear this. In universities, we do get awards, not the knowledge. By the way, in universities, we just get awards, not the knowledge. I've met PhD holders, but it is the opposite of PhDs. I've met senior 4 graduates, and they are better than PhD holders. Yes.
Excuse me.
Let me even.
I'm not.
He's not
refuting.
disputing
I'm
you.
not disputing.
It is his view.
I'm not disputing.
It is his view. That is what he prefers. What about beauty, Eddie? Because people can see you're a very handsome young man. Wouldn't beauty be the first quality you would look for?
No, ma'am. I wouldn't consider beauty right now.
You wouldn't consider beauty right now?
Yes, because.
Yeah, he's lying.
Listen. I'm coming. Listen. I have tried beauty,
You've tried beauty before.
and it hasn't worked.
It has let you down.
Yes. Now, where I am, she has to be number one qualification. She has to be spiritual. And then
I think we
beauty-
should clap to that.
And then beauty will come as number 2.
And what?
Number 2.
Character is number 2. Okay, Eddie says beauty has failed him before. Right now, he's not looking for beauty. He's looking for number 1, spiritual. Number 2, character. Eddie, stand up again. I'm sure the women want to see you. He's looking for character. Turn the other way. There are some that side. He's looking for character and spirituality. Wonderful. And Professor Francis, so educated. I've seen you before, and you are always holding very big books. And you're pursuing one degree after the other. Do you still consider, because there are men who feel that the cultural values of a woman have to be upheld, would you still consider those as important?
Very,
You consider them very important?
very important.
Okay, and give an example.
I will say this, that the era we are living in, we have so many educated girls, so much civilized in quotes, but there are no cultural values in them. You go to visit a girl, and a lady spends like 15 minutes preparing binyewa, and the binyewa is ready.
He says, how can you go to visit a girl and she spends only 15 minutes preparing binyewa? What's wrong? Can you tell them? I know what's wrong with that, but can you tell them what is wrong?
Okay. My mother raised me cooking.
Your mother raised you cooking.
Yes.
Oh, so you want a good chef.
And not actually, but I'm not marrying a lady to cook for me. But there are some fundamentals and basics that a lady must have in her.
You are not marrying a lady to cook for you, but there are fundamental basics that a lady should have. She should not prepare groundnuts in 15 minutes. It should be longer than that. That's what you say.
Never been ready.
That's what you mean. It should be longer than that.
It should be longer than that.
So you were unhappy when you went and the groundnuts came after 15 minutes.
Exactly.
Personally, I think it depends.
What did those groundnuts taste like?
No, I didn't really test it
You didn't taste?
because I didn't believe granuts can be ready in 15 minutes. That's me.
I can only say I'm very happy I was not born in this day and age, because surely the standards go higher and steeper if people are timing groundnuts. What about if she already had them prepared? If she already had them prepared, maybe she knew you were coming to visit and she knows you like groundnuts.
I would have tested it.
You would have tested.
Yeah.
So you decided that this wasn't the lady because the groundnuts should not have been prepared in 15 minutes.
No, it is a combination of so many things, Pastor.
Oh, okay.
Pastor,
Yeah.
something
Because personally,
for Professor. I'm afraid you're not going to get a woman to marry. In this day and era, if you're still looking at people cooking groundnuts binyebwa for an hour, you are doomed. Because today, excuse me. Today, rice cooks in 5 minutes in a rice boiler, a rice cooker. And when you look at those days of your mother cooking, they used to okusibira omuchere kumbere, and it will take 9 hours or So if you're looking for that one, I'm afraid.
Wycliffe, hold on a second. Before you can attack Professor, please understand.
I'm not attacking, I'm just giving food for thought.
Pastor Jessica's question was for this man to put his argument on the table concerning the culture thing. So in culture, he gave an example of ground nuts. His argument is not ground nuts. Come on, Wycliffe. His argument is the issue of a cultured woman.
But he said
But
that
he gave the
he wants
example.
even to test it. Honestly, 21st century, and you find a man who is ready to test.
let me
Enva.
clear something.
I agree with you, Frank, and Francis. And I think you being an intellectual and a lecturer, and still feeling that your wife to be should uphold cultural values, I think you deserve a little bit of an applause. I thought school did a lot of washing away of that. But, I will applaud you a bit. However, there are faster means to cook these days, including preparing the meal before your fiancé comes, knowing very well that he will turn up at 2 and have the meal. She could have been in the kitchen before. But it's wonderful to know that you want a wife who has at least the basic standard of domestics. I want to ask you, Mr. Frank Gashumba, what about you and the domesticated woman?
Personally, it's very clear. I don't expect my wife or my girlfriend to cook for me. I expect her to oversee what the maid cooked. That's me. Simple. Let us look at it this way.
It's okay. .com women,
No.
you can clap if you want.
No, this is it, ma'am. Look at it this way. She leaves our house at 8:30. She comes back at 6. Before she leaves the house, she must tell the maid, lunch cook, binyebwa, matoke, nkoko. Supper, binyebwa, matoke, nyama. You get me? what I expect her to do, the moment she arrives home after work, she must go to the kitchen and see the instructions she gave the maid. Is that the right food she cooked? That's me. No, look at the scenario. I'm from work, very exhausted. She's also very exhausted. I need to see her. But she's busy in the kitchen cooking. No, not me.
Come on.
She must oversee what is in the kitchen.
Fair point.
Okay. Last but not least, Wycliffe, I saw you opposing everybody who dared to say something.
Other than Frank. Frank was just near there, but I think the rest are somehow off.
Careful there, White.
The rest are off.
In the real world, they are off.
In the real world, they are off.
Yes.
Ma'am, I think something I should add on. The parents who are seated here. Something I'm seeing every day. Our children go to the best schools ever. They are universities. But at the end of the day, you don't tell your girls that they are going to be mothers. So this lady in my house must know how to cook. Because you cannot oversee a project you don't know. You're getting me? She must know how to cook.
Hold on a second.
But I don't expect her to cook for me. No.
Frank, let me correct you there. You will forgive me. Now, we should understand each other right now. You will forgive me for interrupting this, but number one, Wycliffe, you and I and Eddie maybe were on different stands, but Frank Gashumba, let me give you a scenario, sir. Now, I'm a Christian man. I don't sleep with a woman before I marry her. That's one. Number two, if she has to sleep off, it has to be one night when I'm in the sitting room and she's in the bedroom. Listen, meaning that I will not discover whether she cooks or not the very first time. The chances are that by the time I discover that she's a cook or not, I'll already be in love with her because she's upright upstairs, number one. She's a wise woman. She's industrious. She knows how to make good decisions. She can support me and submit to me. And all these things are in line. But then the cooking thing, depending on how she was brought up, she falls short. In my opinion, my kind of woman may not be able to cook. But if only she's willing to learn when we are in love. Because I don't want cooking, I don't want kitchen affairs to affect my entire future. You know? If only she can be willing to work together with me so we can, because I do some cooking, but then I'll be willing to help this young lady get maybe some cooking lessons or something so she can become a better cook. But she has qualified in other areas. So even if she doesn't cook for me, but she's willing to learn, I'll be very glad to move with such a person.
I also wanted to add something before it can move to something else. Eddie talked about beauty, mommy. I think beauty is something which is very, very relative.
The professor is saying beauty is something which is very relative.
Because this is how I can put beauty. The looks takes me into your life. The nose may look good, the hands may look good, the eyes may look charming. But you see, that will introduce me to the real person. It's just like entering this door. You see glasses shining, and when you enter in, you find a good scent, you will stay. But when you enter in this church and you find people abusing each other, doing what, you'll obviously run away.
So you are saying that men are attracted by beauty and then they stay for other reasons.
But I live with personality of the person.
You are attracted to beauty, but you live with personality.
Honestly, Professor, there I can agree with you.
Yeah.
I would also love to see one of the most beautiful younger women you can ever hope to meet. It's important. But you must move beyond the beauty.
Yeah.
After she's beautiful, excellent, what value? What value?
Actually, what is the definition of beauty to you? Because me, I'm not looking at beauty, I'm looking at the life of the person I'm relating with. That is what I live with.
No, it's very
The
clear.
outside part is just, it introduces me to the life of
No,
that
for
person.
me, it's very clear.
Yeah.
You must be beautiful.
So what is beauty to
No,
you? What is
I'm
beauty?
telling there is a perception in Kampala. Ma'am, abasajja mu Kampala bagamba mbu tewali bakazi balungi by Nampisa. They are there. Very beautiful women with the values
I
and
agree.
morals.
I agree.
You get me? So beyond the beauty, as we are seated here, they are sincere, honest girls from good backgrounds. They are beautiful, and deep in them, oh,
I think
It's boiling.
beauty is in personality. That's it. Beauty of a person is in the personality that comes out of the person. That's
I'm
what
afraid,
I will leave
Professor,
with. Yeah.
you might not get that, or you will have to wait a little longer. Why? That kind of beauty that you're talking about, you cannot see with your naked eye. Therefore, that's why I'm saying you will have to wait a little longer. And I don't know how you're going to do it, because the beauty you are looking at is that person. You have to live with that person before you discover that.
how will you know the deep part of her?
How will you know she's that kind of spiritual? I mean, she's that kind of who will listen to you when you don't live with her.
Actually, to me, spirituality is not the issue. It is the expression of the spirituality.
And how are you
of the
going to
person.
know that she does that on the first day?
I
Let me,
cannot be
Professor,
a witch. First wait.
let me help
answer
you
him.
this way.
Let me answer
One
him.
scholar said that
Yes.
you cannot learn to ride a bicycle by reading a novel. You're getting me?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You must get the bicycle, try it, no matter how many times, till you manage it. So you cannot know the inner part of this person unless you go out with her for dinner, for tea, then you're going to know her.
And that's where you discover the person. That's where you discover the person. I cannot be a witch and I meet a witch and fail to notice that is a witch. It will not take me so long before I notice this guy dances in the night. Yeah.
Okay, I think what Professor is trying to say, do I understand what Professor is trying to say? I think I understand what Mr. Frank Gashumba is trying to say. You are attracted by beauty, you go out with beauty, and then you discover the person. Okay, and Professor is saying that real beauty is not beauty until you have seen the inner beauty, isn't it? Okay, they both have their points. I want to end by asking Wycliffe, but before I go any further, I would like to thank our sponsors so much. MTN, everywhere you go, MTN, thank you so much. We want to thank Emirates. Thank you so much, Emirates. Vision Group of Companies. Let's give them a big applause. Coca-Cola, thank you so very much. Dream Media, we love you. Channel 44, you are our home. Thank you so much. Wycliffe, you have already earned yourself a lot of popularity with the young ladies. I am sure people are going to lament as we walk off stage. And I've heard you dash out at almost everyone except Mr. Frank Gashumba. Everyone is lying. According to you, they're all lying. They're not telling the truth. And I want to know what you think men are looking for when they set out to find a wife, or because you say it's not beauty, then you say it's not education, then you say they don't know what they want, then you say they are lying, then you know what is your summary? You just summarize.
Thank you very much. I would like to talk from a perspective of a person who's about to get married.
He's getting married next year, ladies, so
So I'm being real. What men like me and all the rest in this house look
you
for
are speaking for them?
because I am real. They're afraid of saying this.
It's not right.
Okay, this is my opinion. What men want from women, especially you young girls, is nothing other than sex.
So what are you warning the young girls about? Are
And
you
I'm
warning
saying,
them, or
I'm telling them, then I'll warn them later. Why? These young women are fresh from the university, or they're doing a good job, and what they don't have is a man. I'll go back to what Eddie said. So they're looking at men, and men are not coming to them. And when the man comes, if a man realizes a woman of that kind, she's vulnerable already. So this man is going to come, and because this man is maybe committed somewhere else, they'll come and ask you out. And they'll be so good, they'll talk all the spirits, they'll talk all the good things, but at the end of the day, they want sex from you, and that's it.
Pastor Jessica.
But again,
Are you
just one thing. Well, even if it is sex, they still want good sex from the women. It's not just sex, it's good sex. And that is why.
So you are warning the girls that these men may be talking about spirit and beauty, but they are looking
For sex. And once they get the good sex, then they can start looking at those other things. And now, yes, they will start looking for the woman.
I think
we disagree with you.
let me bail you out.
We disagree with him, don't we?
No. I'm supporting him. Mom. And I'll be frank to you. My name is Frank Gashumba. I don't tell you what you want to hear. I'll tell you what you must hear. The generation of today, graduates, what they are looking at first is sex. You must think beyond this word sex. Let me tell you, even if you had good sex at Serena, Emirates want to give you a free air ticket. You want to walk into Nando's and give you a free meal. So you ladies outside there, don't think about sex first. And I can assure you, there is no serious man who is running 1,000 projects that will have time for sex. If you have a man who spends 2 hours on sex, hopeless.
Yes, and that's a good point, Frank. Because they don't have the time, if somebody can't have 2 hours for sex, then they want to spend only 5 minutes, 10, 30 minutes with you. And if you don't give them what they want in that little time that they have with you, you're doomed. I'm speaking on the part of bachelors.
I think we should give Mr. Frank Gashumba a bigger hand clap. Ladies,
Pastor
a very
Jessica.
big hand clap.
Pastor Jessica.
I think the votes have moved from Wycliffe to Mr. Gashumba now.
But
Pastor
we
Jessica.
agree. We agree with Mr. Gashumba.
How is this information useful for young ladies? Are you trying to warn them?
I am trying to warn them because they are very, very vulnerable. They are at a stage where vultures are looking at them.
Okay.
So if you're not careful, young ladies, you think a man has come, very smart, very handsome, and you think he's loaded, and so he's taking you out, he's taking you to all the beautiful places. The end result, these men are married for Christ's sake.
And for you ladies seated here, you have a man. And every time you call him, he shows up. Then you know you are dating a useless man. Yes. Tell me one serious person who runs a number of projects that he has time for you every time you need him. Mom, what really shocks me, sometimes I don't understand ladies. You have a man who cares for you, each and everything that you need. They run from him to another poor man in Kaleru. The moment they smoke you out, you want to cry back and go back to Korolo. What do you want? You have a man and he spends hours and hours on you, you're doomed.
I'll add, I think that's enough advice for the girls. Now, I would like to transfer exactly this same talk to the married women and men.
You have not yet talked to the girls.
I've-
You said you are warning them
Yes, I was warning them.
that these men who are pretending to say that they are looking
they're
for
so good
spirituality and character,
and all those things.
they are all looking for sex.
They're looking for sex.
But don't you think that is a very dangerous mentality? Because if my husband had approached me and I thought that all he was looking for was sex, would I be married today? I would have.
I would like to take you to something. Your husband might have looked for the good things that you have before sex. But I would like to imagine a situation where I'm being a bit blunt, but you'll forgive me. I need to drive
You
the
have
point
earned your reputation for being blunt since
Okay.
they are.
Let me take it to myself. If I was looking at my wife and I got all the good things from my wife, and then we end up with not good sex, I want a very brave woman or man here to stand up and say they would hang in there for the next 15 years. Anyone?
Mr. Gashumba disagrees. He says busy men Don't,
Busy whether busy
don't
or
talk
not.
that type of language.
Simple, simple. They are here. I can see serious men seated here. They are here. Ma'am, let me share this with you. We are opening up. I dated a young lady. I think her sex appetite was at the peak. This is it. No,
Frank,
no. He started it. Let me conclude it. This woman could come home at midnight. She wants sex. At 4. At 7.
Frank, maybe the problem was you.
No,
the
I'm
problem
telling
could be you. You
Ladies-
are with this woman.
ladies
she's not
and gentlemen.
satisfied. The problem could have been you. Because no serious person would love sex.
Ladies and
3 times a
gentlemen,
day.
I think
Unless
we'll be
satisfied.
back in
People
the
have
next.
different hobbies. Her hobby was that.
Let me
No,
correct.
no.
Wycliffe,
If a woman is
Wycliffe,
not satisfied,
Wycliffe.
they will come
Pastor
back.
Jessica.
I think we will be back. Let's summarize. Patrick, you're desperate to say something.
Yes, Wycliffe, my brother, listen to this. This is to every young lady in this generation who is watching me on television and who are seated right here. Let me tell you something. There are men every day who are looking for sex, and they're there. Wycliffe is right there, so many. But in this same generation, there are young men who are serious about life. Let me tell you something.
Let's
Let me
give
tell you
him a hand
something.
clap.
Let me tell you
So,
something. Wycliffe, listen.
I agree
Wycliffe,
with you.
Wycliffe.
But tell me
Wycliffe,
you'll
Wycliffe.
hang in a
Hold on a
relationship
second.
without good sex.
You had a chance.
Stand
And
up.
put up your
Stand
hand.
up.
I asked and you didn't put up.
Wycliffe, hold on a second. Hold on a second.
That's a hoax, my brother.
Hold on a second.
I've been there.
Hold on a
I
second.
know it.
Hold on a second. Every Ted, Tabitha, and Tiffany can give you sex. A prostitute can give you sex. I'm not looking for a wife for sex. Anyone can give sex.
And anyone can give you an intelligent person.
The thing
I
about
could
a
have a
wife.
business partner who
The
is
thing about
intelligent.
a wife. The thing about a
I
wife.
could have an intelligent
Ladies,
partner who is
listen to
smart,
me.
who is
Ladies, listen to
beautiful.
me.
Ladies and
But
gentlemen,
not
we
everyone
will-
can give me the sex that I...
The thing
No.
about a wife that a man wants is companionship.
Sex is
A
an
man wants a serious man wants companionship out of a woman.
Just as I close, ma'am, as I close, I want to tell everyone in here that sex is, and good sex is an integral part of any relationship.
I want to clear something.
A very
we
important
will.
part.
We still have 3 more panels to go. We have a panel of married people. I hope they will help steer us into another direction. We have a panel of men who are married to celebrities. I hope they will also help us steer us into another direction. But I believe the bachelors have done very well. Let's give them a powerful hand clap.
Ma'am, there is something I want to clear before I can go. For me, I serve the Almighty God. And he must provide me with the right woman. I'm not searching, I'm just hunting. Very simple. There's a big difference between searching and what? And for you ladies, always get a man who will add value to your life and your family. Simple.
Now let's give a powerful hand clap to Mr. Wycliffe. A very powerful hand clap for Mr. Frank Gashumba. Isn't he so intelligent? Wouldn't you all want to have a husband like that? Let's give another hand clap to these very handsome, spirit-filled bachelors, Patrick and Ed. Stand up. They say that 3 of them concur together that in this generation, there are men who are not looking for sex because you can get sex anywhere. So ladies, that's a lesson to learn. The moment a man comes, don't think of taking your clothes off. Think about putting them on because there are men who are serious, who are looking for wives, who are looking for beautiful, spiritual women to put in their homes. Thank you so much, Eddie. We've loved having you. Thank you so much, Patrick. And thank you so much, Professor Ogwang. We have loved having all of you. I wish you luck. And I pray that that the Lord will enable me enough life to be there on all your weddings, especially you, Wycliffe.
Thank God for Frank Gashumba